Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Buddhang dhammang sanghang namassami. Venerable monks, upasakas, upasikas. So now is the time to listen to few words of Dhamma after the chanting and meditation, which help us to gather our mind, stabilize our mind. And now is the time to listen so that we refresh our mind, remember and rethink and remember, recollect everything that is samsara. Everything is samsara again and again, So today the sutta is on the meditation that we practice today, mindfulness of breath. So since we all practice, and some of you may be practicing in your own way, but I thought it will be good if we listen from the Buddha himself, what exactly he is trying to say, at least in the form of sutta. Of course, everyone understands in their own way, but even the words of Buddha. So this sutta I found particularly simple and very clear and very encouraging. The sutta looks very encouraging and very simple and very clear. And this sutta is called Ekadhammasutta, the one thing, just one thing, and not more, just one thing. And the reason it is called the one thing is the Buddha has tried to make meditation as clear and simple as possible for all of us, so that we know the whole process and purpose of meditation. Let me start. So the Buddha teaches this to the monk. Buddha said, monk, when one thing is developed and cultivated, it is very fruitful and beneficial. Right? So you develop and cultivate, which means you do again and again and cultivate and develop, and as a result there will be good fruits and benefit. A lot of fruits and benefit, lot of good result that you will find. What one thing? Mindfulness of breathing. And how is mindfulness of breathing developed? So it's when a monk gone to wilderness or to the foot of a tree or to an empty hut, sits down cross-legged, set their body straight, and establish mindfulness in their presence. Just mindful they breathe in, mindful they breathe out. You go to a place which is calm. So you can't meditate obviously at the railway station. It is not possible. You need to have some kind of calmness and no much chaos, no much disturbance. It should be sufficiently calm. Any place which is sufficiently calm. So what you do, you sit cross-legged. So you just sit like this Of course, you can sit on chair if it is difficult for you. But sitting on the ground is much more comfortable if you really think, because your entire lower body is involved, right? So in the chair, it's not so much, right? So there is because the reason and it is not just comfortable, but it's your entire body involvement, right? So your entire body is involved, and that is very important because body is very much part of meditation, right? Without body, no meditation, right? So it really helps us to connect with our body, feel our body when we are sitting on the ground. So that's the reason. And then you keep the body straight. If you have to keep the body straight. The reason you do that is, of course, you will be again active. You will be more, more aware of your body, and there is energy. There is no laziness and no, sluggishness. So then you do that, and then you closing the eyes is not mentioned here in the sutta. So one of the monk, he would say, okay, we can meditate open eyes. There was one monk who came here, but I think closing eyes is better because your focus will be much more better. In some tradition, like the Zen tradition, they focus on the wall, right? Open the eyes, and maybe the eyes not wide open, but slightly open, and look at the wall and meditate. You can try that as well. So, So anyway, so then what you do? Then you are mindful, you breathe in, mindful, breathe out. So your focus is on the breath. And the reason the breath is, in our body there are four element. We are made up of four element. Pathavi, Tejo, Vayu, Dhatu. Pathavi, Apu, Tejo, Vayu. That is the physical, the hard part, and then the liquid part, then the air part, then the heat part. So liquid we can't feel it. Even the bones and all we can't feel much. So heat we can't feel much. So the breath is the only one which we can kind of feel, especially at the nose, So that is the reason we focus on the breath. So breath is the easiest way to feel, So breathing in heavily, they know I'm breathing in heavily. Breathing out heavily, they know I'm breathing out heavily. When breathing in lightly, they know I'm breathing in lightly. When breathing out lightly, they know I'm breathing out lightly. They practice like this. Heavy and light breath. Now, a lot of people say natural breath, but I feel that maybe sometime you can even regulate the breath. Let's say sometime you can't feel the breath, or maybe you just want to push yourself, just start. So I think that's the time when you can, that is the time you can breathing a little long, heavily, like long breath, and then sometime you can maybe keep it natural, or maybe sometime you can even less. So basically, however you are breathing, you are knowingly you breathe, right? So you breathe, you breathe in and breathe out, and you know the breath and feel the breath. So here you feel, there is a part of the feeling here. So you feel the heavy part of the breath, the light part of the breath. So there is this again the feeling of heaviness, which is the characteristic of the earth element, the hard part, hardness, right? So it's because all these four elements has their own characteristic, their own characteristic. So you feel that, right? Whether it is light or heavy. So you need some of this thing in order to keep your mind focused on the breath. So you observe, I'm breathing in heavily, or in fact maybe sometimes what I do is I myself breathe in little longer, sometimes little shorter, so that that way I can keep my mind on the breath more, for longer time, or let's say when I'm not able to feel the breath much, right? So that's a time you can do that. So this is the part, and then the practice like this: I breathe in, experiencing the whole body, and breathe out, experiencing the whole body. The practice like this. So so you feel, as you breathe in and breathe out, you are feeling the entire body, entire body. You just feel the body, right? Because when you breathe in, the breath moves throughout the body. It goes throughout the body, in every part of the body, right? So therefore, with the help of breath, you are able to feel the body. So you do both, in the breathing out, breathing in. Then what you do is the practice like this: I breathe in, stilling physical processes. Breathe out, stilling physical process. So stilling, right? Calming down, basically. So you not only feel the body, feel the breath, feel entire body, but you also calm down the body, right? So you start with the body, right? So to calm down, right? So so you make the body much calm, and sometime you will see that as you feel that, you will see some stiffness in some part of your body. You will feel somewhere in your neck, somewhere in your ear, somewhere in your joint. You can feel, right? You can feel some stiffness. Something is there. So you do that. You calm down that. Then, so this is the first part. Which is the gross part, the initial gross part of the body. So now we go to the second part, which is the feeling part. So they practice like this: I breathe in, experiencing rapture. So also breathe out, experiencing rapture. So what is rapture? So now, as you calm down the grosser part of body, right? Because it is our mind that that makes our body heavier, right? It makes our body also heavier, right? Now we're using the body, mind. So we're using the mind to much more, subtler and subtler. From the gross, you go to much more subtler and subtler and subtler. So you after you are done with stealing the grosser part, so you feel a kind of rapture. Rapture is a kind of a very pleasant feeling in the body, right? You feel your body very light. The body is very, very light. You feel it's like it's like how you let's say when you are on a, I don't know what I felt in one of my experience is I was in this place where they put you in a kind of a lift, and then they pull you up and down fast, pull you very much fast and down, and that there is this moment where you just feel your body missing, right? You don't feel the body. So, but that is, in a mechanic way. But here you feel somewhat like that. You feel something like that. Then comes the next part. I breathe in, experiencing. Yeah, and all of this you are doing with the help of breath, right? You don't miss the breath, even when you are stealing the body. Even when you're feeling the rapture, you are always there with the breath. So breath is there throughout. So you use the breath as a means to calm down the body and feel the rapture. Then you feel experiencing bliss. So bliss is also a pleasant feeling, but it is much more soft. It is much more higher. So there is less excitement, because in the rapture part there is some kind of excitement, and which is a bit of a restlessness also. But now you come to bliss, which is a pleasant feeling, but not so much of restlessness. So you feel this happiness, very good happiness. That's the reason people take alcohol, to get this little faster, or some drugs or something. Why? Because they want to feel this, But that is an unhealthy way to do, right? But meditation is a very healthy way. It's a little difficult, but it takes time. It's difficult, but it is much more helpful and healthy, Then what you do, I breathe in, experiencing mental processes. I breathe out, experiencing mental processes. So next, what you do is chitta sankhara or kaya sankhara, not chitta sankhara, kaya sankhara. So there is in the body. At this point, it doesn't mean that you don't have any other unpleasant kind of feeling going on, but it's just that it is there for some time, or it's there for some time, but then there is some kind of pleasant, unpleasant still happening in the body, right? So you still calm down, right? There are some very subtler part of the body. You can say the liquid part, or maybe the heat part. So there is your heat part, which is very much inside the body, is still there, right? So you still calm down that part, or in the form of feeling, So this is the second part, which is you can say much subtler part of the body. And one of the things you notice here is you try to be more and more calm, happier, joyful. So you don't see here any attempt to concentrate, right? So a lot of time people try to just concentrate on the breath, right? I just want to concentrate on the breath, So generally meditation is seen as concentration, right? So meditation is not concentration, right? It is just mindfulness. And using mindfulness, you try to, calm down your body, your mind, and you try to bring joy, bring happiness, bring bliss within the body, right? At this level, of course, there's mind part as well. But what you see here is, it's not so much, because sometimes people say, okay, I'm able to keep my mind on the breath for 2 minutes or 5 minutes or 2 seconds. The people count. But that's not here, right? That's not important at all, right? It's not so much how many minutes or how many seconds you are able to put your mind on the breath. That's not how it is, That's not how it is. And if you think like that, then what is the purpose? Why you want to keep your mind 5 seconds or 10 seconds or 10 minutes on the breath? There is no much purpose, So, but here you can see there is a purpose, You try to calm down the body and calm down the grosser part, subtler part, and also feel bliss, feel joy, feel happy. So you have to see that, are you enjoying your meditation? Right? When you are in meditation, are you becoming much more calm, peaceful, joyful, blissful, rapturous? Are you having these experiences, or are you just trying to keep your mind on the breath, or are you just not happy? So, if you are not feeling that, so it's better to stop meditation, right? Do something else. Maybe. Maybe read something, chant something, walk, or do some other work, or something else, because even before meditation, like today we did chanting. And chanting is of course one part, but then Buddha also speaks about the Shila. Shila is our own action, how we are thinking, speaking, acting in our day-to-day life, right? So if we are not careful of our thinking, action, and speech in our day-to-day life, everyday family, work, traveling, whatever, public place, everywhere, or when you are alone, if you are not careful of your thinking, speech, and action, then it's not possible to have a good meditation. Because that is, Buddha said, is prerequisite for meditation, right? So if you're not careful, then you sit in meditation, then you are not going to enjoy the meditation, right? So Shila is very important. Now the third part, I will breathe in experiencing the mind. I will breathe out experiencing the mind. So you are experiencing the mind, which means your thought, right? So thinking. So you are experiencing thinking, which means you are knowing the thinking. You know what thoughts are coming, what thoughts are going and coming, past, present, whatever. Now, so what you do is, I breathe in, gladdening the mind. So first you observe the mind, see the mind, experience the mind, and then what you do? You gladden the mind, which means you make your mind, again, you can say joyful. Gladdening is nothing but joyful, So, so how do you do that? Is maybe if there is a negative thought, you just ignore it, or you bring in some good thought, some positive thought, and then you just make your mind happy. And again, of course, you breathe in and breathe out. Then I breathe in, immersing the mind in samadhi. Breathe out in samadhi. So samadhi is nothing but stability. You stabilize your mind. You just kind of keep the mind stable, keep the mind, you can say stable, to keep the mind more stable. And then I breathe in, freeing the mind, and breathe out, freeing the mind. So you free your mind. So free your mind of what? Free your mind of all the concerns, right? So we have, you see, in our mind, always there is a concern, too many concern, Sometimes we call it concern, sometimes it can be worry as well, So we have so many this kind of thing. So you free your mind of all the concern, whatever the concern is, whatever important thing in your life, which you think, oh, this is so important, and this is not happening, this is there, this problem, that problem. Just free your mind, just free your mind. How you do? Of course, the breath, I think, here the breath, right? Because you can see here, just the breath, right? You don't need to do much. It's very simple in a way, right? So you just, worry is there, so you just breathe in and let the worry go. So you use the breath to just let go, right? So it's like you are with the breath. So you basically don't give much importance to all the thoughts, all the grossness, all the worry, or the concern. So you don't give much importance. What happens is, like, when you give too much importance, then that becomes really a big thing. Actually, your mind creates a big thing, right? Your mind makes something very big, and it creates worry and concern. So what you do is you just use the breath and just free the mind. So using the breath. So just be with the breath, and then things will just go out. You don't need to so much. And in some cases it may be difficult. So there can be you can move to the contemplative meditation. So this is the breath meditation. This is contemplative meditation, which means a particular, let's say you are bothered by some particular thing, so you do some other meditation. Let's say you are too much, there is anger, so you do the loving kindness meditation, right? Or you are too much judgmental about yourself, right? So you recollect some of your good qualities, good achievement, good thing, right? So like that, a different contemplative for that. But that can be done when this breath is not working, right? It's you are trying and trying and trying, but it is so overwhelming. So then you shift to contemplative meditation for some time, and then once you're done, you come back to the breath. So the breath is the universal meditation, all-time, simple kind of meditation. But then other contemplative meditation you do in order to, deal with some of the very, very stubborn, state of mind. So then the fourth part is Dhamma. So what is Dhamma? The practice like this: I breathe in observing impermanence. I breathe out observing impermanence. So as you keep meditating, say, on your body, your feeling, and your mind, thoughts, so what you see is, it is all coming and going, right? In fact, the breath itself, it's coming and going, and the feeling, some feeling comes and go, some thought comes and go, and some worry comes and goes. So if you give much more closer look at your own body and mind, you will see that they are so fast changing. In fact, it is so fast changing, and in one of the places Buddha said that the mind is the fastest, much more faster than those days bow and arrow, these days, gun, and much more faster than light, much more faster than any physical thing, including light, because light speed is considered the fastest, So mind is very fast, our mind is very fast. because it is fast, so fast, ultra fast, so you are not able to see the changing nature of mind, because it is so fast. Like say this fan, it's moving, right? There are 3 blades, but when it is so moving fast, you don't see 3 blades. You just see a round, but that's an illusion. That's not right. You see, in the same way, our mind is changing so fast, so also the body, it is changing so fast. But when do we realize? When we get sick, or when somebody dies, right? Then we realize, it is changing. The body is changing, but that will be there for a few hours. After that, we are again back to normal. We think we always exist. So we observe the impermanence. And why we observe the impermanence? Because that is the truth. That is the truth. And as you breathe, then what you do, you breathe, and then I'll breathe in, observing, fading away. I'll breathe out. So you can see here, impermanent. So, which is, when you see the impermanent, it is considered a vipassana, right? So even with the breath, as Buddha said, I breathe in, observing impermanence. So even with the breath, you are able to practice vipassana, right? So you see that. You see the impermanence both with the out and in. And what happens? I breathe in, observing the fading away. I breathe out, observing the fading away. So your mind fade away, right? Your mind kind of move away from, from our day-to-day normal, natural state of mind, which is the hindrances, whether it is always seeking something, or disliking, liking, or restlessness, or worry, or whatever it is, right? So you are now, you move away from the normal course of the mind, which are the nivarana, the rest, the hindrances, the 5 hindrances, and then all the doubt and everything. So all these things, you move away from the negativity, because now you are able to see the mind as it is, right? So you don't create all this hallucination kind of thing, all this imagination, all this thing, what we call the maya, right? Also, so you observe, breathe in and breathe out. Then I'll breathe in, observing cessation. I'll breathe out, observing cessation. So you see. So now you cease from suffering, right? So once you see impermanent, and then because of knowing impermanent, you fade away from the day-to-day normal state of mind. You can call it the negative mind. Then now you move away from suffering as well. Because why suffering comes? Because you are holding on to thing. Why you are holding on to thing? Because you don't see impermanent. And when you see impermanent, you don't hold, right? And as I said, without knowing the impermanent, you have this idea of a very stable body and mind, right? So we say, my body, or my mind. So right? So we think that I'm strong. I'm beautiful. I'm handsome. I'm strong, and I'm like this. I'm like that, right? So all of the things that are connected to the body, to the mind, and even the mind is again connected to the body. Right? It is just connected to the body. So all this identification, all these kind of views and speculation, perception, these are the things that create suffering, because every time we are challenged, we are challenged by the society, by people, and by our own self. Right? So there is this our own view of ours, as me, as somebody, somebody's unique, and that's why we have a name and all of that. So this thing, create this suffering because you think something, but then society says something else, right? So you are suffering. So now you move away from suffering, and finally, I breathe in, observing, letting go. I breathe out, observing, letting go. So you let go of suffering, slowly. So we are suffering because we are attached to suffering. We like suffering in a way, right? We like suffering. I don't know, I told you the story of one lady in Australia. So he comes to this monk, and this monk gives some teaching, and then this lady said, "No, you can't take away my suffering, because people identify with suffering. They say, I went through this much of suffering, and then they hold on to it, right? My suffering, they did this to me, they did that to me. I am, I have this." So it's like you hold on to it, right? Suffering. We don't want to suffer, but we hold on to suffering, right? So you let go. You see? So very simple, isn't it? With just the breath meditation, and the sutta ends, Mindfulness breathing, when developed and cultivated in this way, is very fruitful and beneficial. So you have to develop and cultivate, right? You have to do on and on. And you will... One of the things you see is that throughout, from the beginning till the end, breath is always there, right? So some of the people who practice with breath a lot, for them what happens is that even when they are, let's say, talking, working, doing whatever, right, driving, they will be aware of the breath, right? So breath will be there, and you will be aware of the breath. So you will you keep going to the breath, right? So as I said, the mind is very fast. So even though you are driving, you can still be with the breath, right? So sometimes you see people, they are driving, so their eyes on the road, on the steering, on the brake, on the clutch, on the gear, on the mirror, the side mirror, the front mirror, and the back, and also on the phone. So if you can be on so many things, why can't you be with the breath, right? So you can be with the mobile on the phone even while driving with so many activity happening. So why can't you be with the breath? Because that's very helpful, right? So the more you are with the breath, the more it is easy to... You see, sometimes when we are tense, what we do, right? That's what we do, isn't it? So breath always helps, right? So we are with the breath on and on all the time, and breath keeps us grounded, keeps us intact, keeps us sensible, right? Keeps us mindful, of course, and keep us away from negativity. So very powerful. The breath is very powerful. We are breath, and we use the breath, right? We are, as a human being, we are breath, and we use the breath. So what Buddha is doing is, he's just using the thing which we already have, but it's just that we don't know how to use it, right? So Buddha just makes us know how to use it. So this is a simple teaching on the breath, and I hope you are clear, and the breath meditation which a lot of us do, and so with this sutta it becomes very clear how do we do the breath meditation. Right? So with this I conclude. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.